That anybody who comes to your life is adding to what you want to become. Don't negotiate that. Anything outside that, you don't need it. And then when you meet the person, you now define standards, because the person can be in purpose with your drive, but does not have the manners to discipline you, to keep you character. So when you now define that, you now define standard. Standard in the sense that these are my yes and these are my no's. These are things I don't do and these are things that I do. You must always let everybody know your standard in life, whether big, small, beneath. They must know your standard. I don't do this. I don't talk this way. I don't look this way. You see, people will respect you for what you present, not what you say. Always present yourself respectably, because that is what matters at the end of everything we do in this life. Is the records of your, a few days ago I was saying that if you stand in a podium to speak, somebody who heard you lie will not see what you're saying, will see your lie. If you stand anywhere and you have a bad record, that is what people see, not your gift. And that's why we should be careful. Not your gift, it's your bad record people are seeing, your bad approach. You don't know how to talk, you don't know how to behave, you don't know how to do anything. That is what people see. They may not take your gift serious, because your gift is not what makes you. It is your character, your person that makes that gift. So you must know that your image is the most important thing you have. So your drive takes you to your partnership. Your standard sustains you. It's not who who is your friend. Your friends must come by these policies. And then when they come, you can survive even in this dark age. The environment where we are matters. If it's a church environment, then the standard we're looking at is the person a Christian, love the Lord, and honor the church and the pastor. And then the problem why you see all of these things play, the person is not here, is because we get too used to people that we don't see value in them. Why would some young man marry outside with all the girls in this place? The boy is irresponsible. That's just my own. What are you doing? Look at the pretty girls all over this place. Somebody is going outside to go and marry. It's because he does not have value for the girls here now. If he does, he should be eager. But these young men today, they don't know what they want. As a matter of fact, they don't know what they want. That's just the truth. They just there like that and be carrying shoulder, wearing tie, keeping bears, moving up and down, looking for small children to control. Yes, that's not life. Just know your environment and work on yourself to be likable. There's a place of fatherhood, there's a place of a brother, there's a place of a friend. Know your place. Don't be a father to people. Be a teacher. If you want to teach people. Let the pastor be the father. You be are you not talking?
of the streaming platform, and also on WhatsApp and Telegram at +2349047533019. The details are on the scroll bar on the screen, so please take advantage of it and share the links to your friends and to your family. Now, do not forget that whilst you're sharing your questions, make them as brief as possible and stay away from vulgar languages, even though it hurts you that bad. Now, God's servant is in the studio, and I'm so delighted and privileged to be here with him. I'll leave the floor now for him to give his opening remarks and also set the course for this morning's episode. Good morning, Dad, and welcome. Fine, thank you, sir.
I'm trying to, I started out my life very early. I started taking responsibilities as a teenager. And as I get to 50, I am trying to check what are the things I would have done better? What are the things I need to start doing now? What kind of life I would have loved to live? And I want to use this as a post guide to young folks from the age of 12 down to 45. And these are a few things I'm trying to put together as I live my life. And number one is you must learn to be reasonable early. Start reasoning very early with your life. And number two is start being responsible very early with your life. And number three is start looking for people who will help you reason better. Not people who will influence you for their interest. But there are two kinds of people. There are those who just want you to do their bidding, but they are not fighting for your future. Just today, they are family members. They are more family members. And sometimes you are trying to do family, but you are losing your tomorrow. And number four, if you don't know God better and in your early stage, you may not know him when you're older. And number five, be so observant that you can notice the tiny error in everything connecting to you. Be so observant that if a pin drops, you will know. When you get mature as an elder, it will help you manage a lot of things in your life. What you neglect when you are younger, you will totally not see it when you are old. And I have so much I'm trying to put in my head. I will take two more and I stop. Learn not to live with defenses around you. Be so open-minded that you can learn from anybody. How corrections come should not be your problem. If it is corrections, take them. How they come should not be your problem. As long as it is correction, take it. And lastly, not the least, don't keep grudges that are not necessary. Don't live a life of grudges, complaint, excuses, blame, strife, malice. All of those things will reduce your health capacity, will reduce your reasoning capacity, and will reduce also how you function with life. You may think you are striving with one person, but strives multiplies around you. You won't know when you do it to somebody who you're not supposed to do it to. You won't know when you talk back at somebody who you're not supposed to talk back to. You won't know when you will hit somebody you're not supposed to hit. It's not just for the younger, it's for the older, it's for the young. Let's not live life and at one time you are trying to replan and live your life again. As I said earlier, from the age of 12, learn how to live your life. Learn how to live your life. As it's not going to school. School has nothing to do with you living your life. Learn how to live life here. Because when you get to a certain age in your life, you may notice that you are not willing to hear anymore. At my age, who will advise me? I'm the one advising myself. I'm going to teach on my birthday on something I'm trying to caption. The caption I'm not coming to. This is how to live after 50. 1, stay in love. 3, live in joy. 2, 3, live in joy. 3, live in forgiveness. 4, live in peace. 5, live in merriment. 6, live in thanksgiving. 7, live in praise. That's how you should live. When you clock 50 in your life, there should be nothing more, nothing less. Those are the fruits you must have, so you can live long here. The scripture I got yesterday said, at 50, it says, cease from labor and stay in the tabernacle. That simply means when you cross 50, seek for the presence of God more. So I believe that my thought will help people to know life can be lived without any crisis. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It was as though God's servant knew the questions that we had lined up this morning for him, as sent by some of our esteemed audience viewing from wherever they have viewing. Now, we'll take the very first one by Bodisowe. I hope I got that name correct. Bodisowe Jonathan. And he says, good morning, sir. I want to wish you a happy 50th in advance. But sir, I would love to ask, as you mark the milestone of 50 years, when you look back on your journey through ministry, leadership, and family life, what profound lessons about purpose, decisions, relationships, and legacy would you like to share with us, especially my generation that desires to live a life of impact, balance, and enduring significance?
I brought that to what I said earlier, but I want to break it down in 3 platforms. I learned early, but as I'm reviewing myself, I noticed that I would have learned more and be more aggressive, more to life. And try more aggressive to life. And I think learning more and be more aggressive to life is one thing I'd wish if I was a younger person, because the privileges to learn today is so much. In our time, it wasn't there. So in our time, people were not as unguided as people are today. We grew up to know certain laws that backs life. Today, our children are exposed to the dependence kind of life. So I have a voice. My voice matters. They want to express themselves. And all of that has brought, I spoke here one time. I said, at one time we will be raising immature men and women. Very immature, infant men and women who are grown in age but not grown in the mind. They have gone through education, finished university, but they didn't mature themselves in a university. They have trained people, but they have not trained themselves. They have children, but they are still children. They are guiding other people in the family. You go cook food, you go wash car, you go do this. But they are not mature. And that's where you can see the picture of 1 Corinthians 13:11. When I was a child, I behaved like a child. Paul reflected to this life in that scripture, because a lot of people are just children. A lot of people are just children. I've been around to see people. A lot of people in this age, even to 60, are behaving like children. So my advice to everyone who is looking and trying to listen to me is that learn early and take responsibility early. And try to look for how you can always get close to corrections more than compliment. Get close to corrections more than compliment. And you should seek for corrections more and stop seeking for compliment. Does not raise any bar. What raises your bar is corrections. Compliment does not add to you. What adds to you is corrections. So if we seek more of corrections in this age, because of the privileges we have, we will be more better than my my time of growing because the privileges are so high. So high. Growth privileges are so high, but instead of people getting growth, they are getting very corrupt because the correction platform is heavily fought against. Have you noticed that in our time, if somebody asks you to sit there, you will sit. In this time, you tell somebody, don't try that. They will go and try it and tell you why they tried it. But you can tell the flourishing level of people today. They flourish very thinly because they don't listen. We were listening. Will you tell a child in the house to go and sleep outside? And the child did not walk away. The child went and slept in front of his parents' house and didn't move out. Even when he has places to go to. Didn't call anybody. Just slept at the balcony of the parents' house till morning and then enter and still is crying and begging the parents. Will any child today do that? They will just walk away and go to an auntie's house and sleep. And even make the parents look as if what they were correcting was useless. So you see the advanced level of technology, but the poor moral level of humanity. So these are the things that I feel if I was younger today, I would have given myself to. People who will help me grow towards tomorrow, not people who will help me feel good towards today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, sir, let's talk about yesterday's message, because yesterday's message was something that indeed the church needs to hear at this time, because many of us are drifting away from recognizing what privileges God had given to us and people had also given to us by raising us. And a lot of people, like you said, in our generations, a clear example is the example you just gave now. A child who is being corrected and out of anger, the parent says, go out to go and sleep, and then he doesn't sleep at the doorpost, and by morning comes to beg, but he rather will say, I can do without you, and just wants to prove that he can actually do that. So how can we bring back that picture to the church, especially in families?
As I said earlier, we need to start checking parenting as the first fabric of, when I look at young people with children and how they even carry their children often, I keep telling myself, I said, these people don't know how life is run. Yes. Because there are certain things you do that just shows that you don't have a sense of the future. Yes. You are not mature to parent a child. And parenting is the problem. And it's affecting, people are defining communion with family. They don't know what it takes to commune with family. They think communion with family is to do everything family says. Communion with family simply means we are going to understand the part we need to take. There are parts that are not right in a family. And it's parenting that should model that part and say, no, this is not where we are supposed to be going. This is not where we are supposed to be going. And when parenting is guesswork, is an advocacy of what people do outside, it's my sister, it's my brother, it's my mother, it's my this, it's my child. And the people who are parenting children are not parenting properly. So as long as we are not having the best of teachers to teach us, the outcome of students will be poor. You can be a first-class student in the hands of a poor teacher. The day you go to another teacher who is an A-class teacher and see the kind of people she has raised, you will hate yourself as a first-class teacher. So sometimes we are classifying ourselves by who we are to our children. No, we need to classify ourselves what life is to our children. Somebody can take his lifestyle and background and infuse on children instead of infusing on children what they will use when he or she is not there. No proper conduct connecting to life. Because when healthy corrections are not made, healthy lessons will not be learned. It is healthy corrections that brings healthy lessons. And is playing around everywhere on the earth. Okay, if I'm a father now and my child is staying somewhere, for example, being cared for, do you know that that child cannot call me on phone? You will not come. I'll ask you, is your guardian aware you are talking to me? Because I want that child to understand that the person responsible for your life is this fellow. And today we don't see parents, you don't see things happen like that anymore. Yes. Somebody is working for somebody, is taking care of the person in heavy form, and then the person has no control. It's that thing that is bringing the problem. And until we start allowing people to understand that to be grateful is not because somebody gave you a car. To be grateful is because somebody assisted you in a decision that you could not take yourself, by bringing you to a path that life, even to marriages, there are people who should stay grateful for the kind of spouses they have, not money's sake. The spouses they have that is always reasonable to speak to them on the way to go about life.
Yes.
They are not distracting them.
Yes.
They don't have things to fight against in their homes. You know, we need to see a very big favor somewhere first. And that's why we are not producing the best of children anymore. Best is just because parenting is the strongest weapon for a man's life. It affects you at school. It affects you in church. I don't say about myself. There's the way I live my life. And that's the way I want people to live, because it will help you in the future. Tomorrow. It will help you tomorrow, because it will give you a sense of knowing that I will end up successful tomorrow. So whatever you see today is because of the way we are raising people. Somebody can incite you to ask, how am I treating you? What kind of discussion is that? I will incite you so that I can hear. It's like I have a child who I'm caring for. The parents are calling the child to know how the child is being treated. Instead of calling me to thank me for helping the child, instead of calling me to make me feel that even when I am offended over the child, in case they don't know, they just feel it's a human being that I shouldn't be. Rather, they want to know the things I'm doing bad to the child.
Yes.
That's the world we find ourselves. And that is what is giving people right to do what they do around places where they are. And that's why they cannot ask for forgiveness. Because you can't be begging for something you know you are not wrong about. Somebody has told you are not wrong. So what are you begging for? What are you forgiving for? Because it's when you know you are wrong, you can apologize. And people don't see, they don't have the awareness of forgiveness anymore. But this thing I did now, is it bad? It's not bad now. I have to talk to somebody. So I spoke. Because trust is not built by who you are. It's built by the things you do. And we are missing certain things about life. And I keep seeing the real essence of man just cracking every day. I give example of a woman who just gave birth to a child and does not trust people around that child. And does not know that life is bigger than the hands of a mother or the hands of a father. So we don't know what to do. We don't know how to really lay the foundation of children. We are just copying and pasting and copying and pasting. That's what we do in ourselves. And until we stop doing that, we will raise half-baked men, half-baked women, because these are potential parents in the future. Yes. Potential parents in the future. And how are you going to cope when these people are not really programmed to do better tomorrow? Because they are not programmed to do better tomorrow. They are programmed to even be worse than me. And even the wrongs I have carried out as a father, my children are going to carry that, because I didn't program them to grow above the wrongs that I brought to their own lives. And as long as we don't see that and sensitive to handle that, you will always end up producing less people around you. Less in character, less in education, less in marriage, less in everything. Because if people will upgrade you, They must know what you don't know. And today you cannot tell me people want to fight to know what I don't know. They feel I know too much. They feel I work too hard. They feel I see everything. They feel I will not agree. Those are the things they see. They don't see that this structure is what I need to build my own life. So if you don't have that, how are you going to be better than me? You can't be better than me tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And now I see why you said you don't train your children by who you are, but by how life is led, because some of our upbringing had that crack from the get-go. Now, for young people like me, who probably would want to take the turn, because one of the questions here says, because the person was just concerned that we are only exposing our children to more sophisticated career courses, medicine, law. He is concerned about, how about the farms? Like when they were growing up, they were going to farms. Who is going to handle the nation's agriculture? Who is going to feed the nation if we all want our children to be doctors, accountants, and all that? Now, why I said this to say that how do we, as people, especially my generation, sit down properly to make thorough reviews of all these lapses and begin to make deliberate steps towards the future?
Observation is the thing. People don't want to sit down to observe. You know what I've been dealing with the whole of yesterday night? It's about how to live life after 50. All true. I even wrote some things here. That's what I've been thinking about. It's all here like that. How to live life. So you see, man does not really think. We only react. So just take some time and just sit around people you know. You will discover that they don't think, they only react. So when man is always reacting, he will not get anything out of life. Yes. We are reactive people now. Everybody wants to react. Everybody wants to we are just reacting. Very reactive, very personal. But I take time to reason. Because it's the pool of observation that will make me. Why did the king of the he said, I rode, my grandparents rode on Hoxes. I drove on Lamborghini and G-Wagon. My son is driving on Rolls Royce. He said my grandchild will return back to Hoxes. Why is he saying that? They have observed that as we advance in certain technology and life, morality tends to drop. Yes. So because it takes observation to know that morality begins to drop. And morality is the governor of any advanced thing we are doing. I said you already, character intelligence is what will govern artificial intelligence. If you remove character from artificial intelligence, man will be a demon. Yes. And that's why I keep shouting that no matter how busy you are with your phone, there should be a time where your phone is not in your hands. Because you can't be thinking with a phone in your hands. You have to off the phone and stay alone and think and be able to do things that your mind is speaking about. Your mind needs to talk to you too. The phone should not be the one talking to you all the time. Your mind needs to talk to you too. So if we don't get that done, by allowing our natural mind to speak to us, and we keep improving in ideas, growing every day, and that mind is not talking to us, tailing down to agriculture will be something that will, all of a sudden it will die off. It's never going to come to pass. It's not going to happen because the mind is what will speak to you to let you know that there are natural things you can get yourself engaged in that can take care of your life. How did I get those businesses I brought out the other day? It's my mind. I didn't read any book. I just sit and look at this environment. Why are people not really... Why is everybody doing the same thing? Why is everybody doing the same thing? And because people are not taking time to stretch in their minds. So they do the same thing. So we can change that if we spend more time with our minds and observing. You can now know that agriculture is needed if you can use your mind more. You can now know that there's something I can do differently and the whole earth to benefit from it. But parents will not even subscribe to their children going back to the farm because they call it village life. Even when they go to the village, they won't show them the farm. They will take them to the village and show them superiority. We are coming from the city, so we are better. They won't show them the farm. So even when the privilege of going to the village is there, it's not to go and farm. It's to go and showcase yourself. I am coming from the city. Even a poor family from the city will look rich in the village. A poor family in the city will look rich when they go to the village. But they will prepare and project to look rich. But in the city, they are poor. So it's like that. And those are the things we are teaching children today. Look better in public, but inside, they don't look well. And I don't need to teach my children that. And I've always said it. Be yourself. Live your life. Just be conscious that I'm your father. That's all. Don't make mistakes. Take instructions. Do what you have to do to get better with yourself. If you make a mistake, apologize for it and plan to do better. And those are the things that will make you now begin to see that I can sweep the floor. I can plant cassava. I can fry it. You see, it will make you even learn those things privately yourself without me even teaching you, because the moral in you tells you I can learn even a million things around me. But when those things are not there, when we are making projections, let our kids look better, let others look less. And that's where the problem is coming from on the earth. And until we start handling that, we will not get the best out of people. And will not get the best out of life. Life will decrease to a level where you feel there are no humans who are reasonable anymore. But they are. If we are giving ourselves to the space of things being done how it's supposed to be done.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, this question comes as a complaint, or he says, "Good morning, Bishop. Sir, please, I want to complain about my wife's attitude towards using this AI. I just remembered while she just made mention of the artificial intelligence and using your phone, and sometimes leave your phone and think. Sir, everything my wife does now, she must go to ChatGPT, including responding to messages from people or even sending me messages. Now, I'm a bit worried because she's becoming totally dependent on this ChatGPT. And what could be the likelihood of her future if she's totally dependent on using AI platforms for her work or her life? I have no problem with her using AI, but you shouldn't use it often. I had complained, she had turned deaf ears." Now, I remember day before yesterday, one of the twins was telling me that he saw that a company laid off 40% of their staff because of AI. And this young man is complaining about his wife so engrossed with using AI. We are beginning to lose our minds and depending on the improvement and advancement of technology. So what is the way out? How can man use this to our advantage, not necessarily our disadvantage?
You know, we will get to a time on the earth where we don't need waiters anymore. We don't need ushers anymore. The things that men do, these AI factors will do them. And that's where morality will play itself now.
Yes. Yes.
Good conduct will now be what will be classifying people.
As the character AI.
Yes. It's good conduct now. People will see and employ people. It will no more be what you are trained to do. But nobody will need your degree anymore.
Yeah.
Going to school is useless. Going to school at one time will be useless. Gifts will be useless because if you say that thing can produce what you cannot produce. Its memory active, it's faster, it's more articulative, the voice culture is presentable. The thing can do certain things that you can't do. But you are the one who programmed it.
Yes.
So the lesson we should learn is that if you don't have a good conduct, a company will test you, not see your abilities. But your ability is now given to the AI factor.
Yes.
So when you say they are retrieving people from the place of work, because why are you going to work is to express your ability, isn't it?
Yes.
But the AI does not have healthy conduct. It's controlled by you. It's functioning by what you tell him. The other day, I was listening to a conversation. The person said somebody was in a mood of death and sought advice from AI. And AI told the person, you can take your life. Because the foundation of that thing is not Christian-like. It's the mind of a man who wants to make money that created it. So it will not be coming from the godly perspective. It will be coming from the satanic perspective. All what we crucified many years during the COVID-19 when he was saying it, is not happening now. Yeah. The controls are coming. Man will lose relevance on this earth because of the insearchedness of man trying to progress his thoughts. So, but one thing is going to be useful. People will be treated by their conduct, their character intelligence. Somebody will employ you not to drive, but just to make sure that you are able to guide the car, because a machine is driving the car now. So, but you need somebody to supervise the car. That is a human work. That one the machine can do. Supervision of that car, to check the engine. Somebody needs to press the machine for the engine to be checked and tell you, okay, it's bad, let's fix it. And that one will need a character conducted human to do it. So at the end of the day, what we will need to grow with life is character intelligence. We'll all return back to that thing. And those who don't have it will stay out of job, will stay out of marriage. And the problem here is not a woman who does not know what to do. It's a woman now who is dependent on something she feels is a modern day productivity for man. And then it's no more putting her own human senses to work. And that's the problem. At one time, she would depend solely on everything that connects to that thing.
Yes.
And begin to lose touch of the true essence of living a life as a human. And that's where our problem will start from, which I almost see it play everywhere now. And I've always advised people, please, I beg you, learn everything, but moderate what you learn.
Yes.
I can't see myself sitting down to study, and I'm getting definitions from platforms. I don't do that. I don't do that because I want to stretch my mind. I have a deep well inside there. Man is bigger than any robot. Stretch yourself to do things that comes out of your body yourself. You have a lot to bring out of you. If you can dig yourself deep to talk out, you do certain things that will shock me. But we are trying to depend on everything that life produces to live with. Okay, let me ask you one question. If you get a door that is keyless, the door still needs your body to activate itself. So at the end of it, no matter what we produce, man is still the essence of those things functioning. It's either your fingerprint or your face or your aura. Something around man will activate the creation of man. So we still know that at the end of the day, man is superior to all this creation. So let's know how to manage it before we run into it. And the man should know how to manage that situation. But very soon, that thing will tell him how to meet with his wife. We like to learn stupid things.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Now we'll go into ministry, and this is from Pastor Nelson. He says, "Good morning, Bishop, sir. Sir, please, what are the signs that a young minister pastoring a ministry would know he is growing spiritually? I mean the church, and not just expanding numerically."
Is the effect of how he comes out, the lessons he passes, the conduct he displays. Those are the signs to show you are growing. If you're not having something to tell the people, new things to share to people, you're not growing. And if you're not seeing new things to do, you're not growing. So growth gives you access to revenues, and stagnation gives you no access to anything. So, and one of the bad things about stagnation is that you start picking fault. When you start picking too many faults at the people around you, you're not doing well, because when spiritual growth comes, it expands you and drags the people to see you as an example. That's what it does to you.
Yes, sir. He also says, Sister, please, are there any systems you have in place that help you regularly evaluate the effectiveness of programs and teachings on the people?
I do that myself. I will not trust evaluating people in people's hands. I am expecting them to lead people. So, evaluating the system, I do it myself. Because sometimes you notice that no matter how much you give people things to do, they will still try to do as if they have other things to do. And they do it a lot around leadership. Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they know, they tend to neglect it. Sometimes they know that this is not right, but they try to do it to see what you will say. So it's something that you have to keep checking and keep putting in order. If you don't do that, you will lose touch of the things you are supposed to do. So keep checking, keep observing, and keep correcting. As you keep doing that, you are improving the system that you are privileged to head.
Thank you, sir. Samson on Telegram just sent this. He says, sir, how can ministers handle criticisms in a way that produces growth instead of offense, especially amongst their leadership?
I'm trying to be personal myself. I don't listen to what is not a part of what I'm trying to do. If you are busy with what you do, then stop giving yourself to conversations that has no value to what you do. I won't spend time trying to know what you say about me, because it's not necessary. Because I have a lot to do. When you came to see me yesterday, what was I doing?
Studying.
I was studying. After a whole day of work, I was monitoring a family that the woman was living in the hospital at the same time. After a whole day of work, I'm still trying to prepare. So I won't be sitting down and trying to know what you think about me. Your opinion sometimes may not be right about me. I know that you're human. You cannot like everything I do. So your opinion sometimes is how you see life and reason. So your background is playing a lot, the way you reason. When I was privileged to sit somebody right there, and I said, you see, you are talking like your background, you behave like your people, and God has brought you to think better than them. And you are still always trying to go back to them. And the reason why God has raised you is to make you think better so they can learn from you. There are people who God has raised in a family, so the family can depend on them, even in character.
Yes.
But every time you are trying to think like your people, talk like them, behave like them, go like them. The person looked at me. I said, this is your problem. You are supposed to be the leadership in the place. So, because you are concerned about opinion, how will people feel? What would they say? Life is all about people's opinion. So what you think about me is what you feel at the time.
Yes.
Does it make it right? Your opinion at the time, maybe your emotions at the time. I feel the way you spoke to me, I don't like it. So you complain about it. It does not mean that what you said now should give me a problem. Or I saw you didn't say hello to me. And I started saying, why? If I have the time, I'll ask you, didn't you see me? If I don't have the time, I'll walk past you and do my business. But saying I will sit down and I'm bothered about how you feel, how you think, how you are, I don't feel you have better things to do with yourself. A constructive human should be focused on building. I'm a constructive person. I'm focused on building. I have so much to accomplish. So the little sounds around me don't define how. If you want to succeed in ministry, pay attention to your assignment and stop listening to what people say about you.
Thank you so much, sir. All right, so this one, we now go into leadership, and this is from Ben. He says, good morning, sir. Sir, having listened to you in this episode, I must say that I am blessed and privileged to listen to this sermon. And then he says, sir, how can leaders create a personal culture of self-evaluation, as you have said, so that success does not blind them from their own weaknesses?
As I always say, I use myself as an example. There is no message I preach that I don't listen to again. There is nothing. What I'm doing now, I'll go and review it immediately I leave here. Not later, immediately I leave here. So there's nothing I do that I don't think about it. And it has helped me a lot. And it has made me stay away from errors. So if you want to do well as a leader, build a culture to review yourself all the time. Success is not an opportunity for failure. It's an opportunity to do better. So when success becomes an opportunity to make you fail, it simply means you are not studying yourself. And that is why sometimes when you try to blame people, check why the people are making the mistake. You know, there are certain things that happens and they blame people. I say, after you finish talking to them, what did you do? For example, people are caring for things. Somebody's caring for this camera and is mishandling the camera. And you are very angry as a leader. But when you finish correcting, did you go back to check how they are still handling that camera? Because the camera will still go bad. Talking to them does not solve the problem. And we have leaders today who only just call people and just shout at them and blame them. But they don't take time to go check what these people do in their days of working and doing that thing. So you know, you will still return back to that same crisis because you've not solved it. You want to solve it? You will stand there and see them do it. If they see you go there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, there will be a consciousness that this man will come here. That's the solution that you just brought to the system. But you see, as long as you are only just talking, shouting, neglecting, ignoring, you are just telling the people that this guy does not have interest for his work. Because that is your work, not their work. You are privileged for them to work for you. So if the thing goes bad, who will spend the monies? That's the bad part about leadership. That leaders don't know. You will still be the one to spend money in that thing, not them. If you don't want it, if it goes bad, everybody will sit down. I'm waiting for you. So if we want to really do well as leaders, we must go beyond talking to people. We must start doing the work with the people. And that means reflecting over everything you give to people and over everything you do yourself. And then when you start doing that, you will notice where you made a mistake. You start correcting yourself because correction starts with you. Let me say this and it will be first. Don't correct people. Never correct any human when you've not corrected yourself. The first corrector of life is you correcting yourself first. How do I know you are correcting yourself? It's when I notice that something you did bad and you can boldly now tell yourself, I have changed from it. I have seen the signs that these errors are no more there in your life. I have seen it. That means this person has taken correction. Now you can easily tell somebody, stop that. Because it will not help what you are doing. But when you are not able to correct yourself, you are still making the same mistakes, the same way of behavior, the same way of talking, the same way of work approach. And then you have the guts and the temerity to talk to others. They will only listen to you, but they will never take you serious. Because the lessons of growth starts from you. They need to influence the others to do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Whilst you were speaking, a user by name Nkechi sent a message on Telegram, and she said, wow, listening to you, sir, is just so mind-blowing. And I could relate especially with what you say, that as a leader, when things go bad, your followers will sit down and just wait until you solve the problem before they can continue. So he said, sir, how do we stop such behaviors amongst team members who always wait for the leader to solve a problem or provide what they need to use to work before they get to work? And secondly, sir, how can you as a young leader also build teams that can challenge you respectfully and help you grow?
Teams today don't challenge anybody. That's the when we were growing up, we were the strength of the systems that we work in. I basically became the strength of where I served. Not just for my parish where I was a pastor. I was the strength. When I was leading the choir in Port Harcourt, my choir was the hub of bringing people to church. When I went to Lagos, the choir I met, the least, their age was 12, 11, even was 11, 12. Small kids in the choir. And I didn't like children. And I want adults. What did I do? I started visiting their homes. And I got close to some of their parents were not coming to church. So I got to know them and told them about the church. I discussed about church as if it's business transaction. I said, my pastor is too powerful that he calls names. He can solve your problem. This struggle like this, he can solve it. I didn't have money to give to anybody. So I was giving them what I know will help them. So when any of them come to the church, I'll personally make sure that they see my pastor. Yes. Then when my pastor has seen them, I will start following them up myself. Were you not blessed? I'll say, come again. If my pastor travels, I'll take the family to the resident pastor. That's what I was doing. So the families became members of the church because of me. I was being called Uncle Maxwell. I would trek, if one of the choir members is sick, I would trek a mile to go and see them. I would take food from where I'm staying to them so they can eat. These are the things I was doing for little children. They grew up and became adults and attracted their parents to the choir. Then I did my first major concert. And I invited Winners Chapel, Redeemed Church, Christ Embassy in that church. And then I became one of the central part of the growth factor of that ministry. Then I now went to Cameroon. I noticed that they had a choir of 4 to 5 persons. I was not supposed to be a part of the choir. I just told the person, the pastor, and I grew these people. I started leading the choir. I was leading the choir there, and I became an assistant pastor. And I grew the choir. I did my first concert in the place. I grew the choir. The choir became the hub of growth in the church. Then I said, let me try home self-fellowship. So I asked for one. And I turned that home self-fellowship to a church. That home self-fellowship became the headquarters church of the entire churches in Cameroon. What am I trying to say? We don't have people, and then I came to Nigeria. They gave me a church that was not looking like a healthy church. I turned that church into a mega church. And it became the heart of the entire church of the ministry here in Nigeria. The problem is not, we don't have people today who can be the heart of a work and relieve the leader from worries. So as long as we don't have those kind of people anymore, the leader needs to make sure he's always there to see his work grow. If not, it will not grow. It will not grow. There's no, the person I serve who was not coming to see me did not know the names of my children. See, today he does not know their names. He did not know how I live with my family. He did not know. He doesn't know till tomorrow. But he knows how effective I was to the work. Did not do any personal thing for me. But he knows how. The thing is just simple. If we are losing those kind of people today, then the leader must sit up and observe his work. You cannot give people things to do and go to sleep. They will kill it. So you must keep going back. If you want to make progress in that work, you must always be there to see them do it. That is what we are lacking today in any work system. People are fighting for their own interests now. They will be loyal to you, but they want to make ends meet for themselves. So as long as that mentality is there, nobody will give you 100% of his time. If they do, it's out of some sign of Some may just say, this is my life, and give everything. And sometimes people who do that are being even fought against by people in the same system. Make them discouraged, make them weakened. They will make sure that they don't succeed in the place. And that's where the leader comes in. Fight to make sure people like that are protected in your system. Fight it with all your life. Because there are very few persons like me in systems today. I never demanded for a penny all my days of service. One day. I never missed work one day. There was no complaint about me for anything negative one day. Can we still produce such people? Yes, because I am here. But I can produce mankind in anybody. If you are willing to learn from me, I will impose myself to you. You may have your own opinions about life. But I tell you, you will not do well yourself tomorrow if you don't build the way I built. Time is becoming very far because there are no people anymore willing to take the leadership role and make the leader sit down. Tell the leader, I am here. That's what David did to Saul. That's what Joseph did to Pharaoh. Leader, I am here. I'll take care of this thing. And then they do it more than the leader. You can't find that anymore. Very few persons can do that today. And that is what we need in every system. So if you want to get that thing done, in any platform, please get up and go sit with the people. And when they see you do that often, the mistakes will be less. We're saying that every time you only come and shout at people, when you finish shouting, they will go back to that same error. You see them looking anyhow, you ignore them. You see them, you ignore. That thing you are doing to yourself is reducing the capacity of production in the workplace. That means you yourself don't love the work that you are doing. You hate that work. You want it to fail. I can't see you seeing something bad and you're quiet. You want that thing to die, and it's going to die. And when it dies, you're going to get into poverty. There's no magic about growth. Growth is aggressiveness. You have to attack it for it to work. And if you give people things to do, sit down, remind them, go after it, fight for it, make sure it works. That's the only way to work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, that is about the last question of today's episode. We still have more questions, but we'll treat them on Friday as Gospel Manager continues. Thank you consistently for always sending in your questions and also streaming and sharing the links and liking. But please do us a favor to continue to do that. And don't forget to like and subscribe all of Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe's posts on YouTube at Maxwell Golden Egbe and also on Facebook at Dr. Maxwell Golden Egbe. We'd love to specially invite you for our midweek service this Thursday. It's going to be an awesome time in God's presence. We have enjoyed the teaching so far, beginning from this year, as God's servant is giving us an expository of the Word of God that had never been taught before or heard anywhere. So please join us by 4:30 and also be a part of the most exciting event in the city of Asaba this week. It is the Honor World Market Trade Forum Summit. It's going to be an immense soaking of knowledge about business, about enterprise, and how you could scale up your business. And on the side, God's servant is giving us some secrets, businesses you could establish that are scalable in the city of Asaba and also beyond. So if you want to get more of those businesses, he had outlined 11 of them, and he's promised to also explain how we could run those businesses and even give us some more. So please be part of it. The Trade Market Forum this Saturday, the 14th of March 2026. And if you're interested in being part of the trade fair, you want to register the business, the advert will be playing after this episode, so take advantage of the details and send in your interest to the numbers at the advert. So please don't forget, it is 9 a.m. on Saturday morning as we gather for the Trade Market Summit. And join us on Sunday the 15th for 3 remarkable services. God's servant had begun a new teaching series. Is the code, but then he has said it is about the blessing. So let's come position ourselves to be blessed by the vessel and the man who has truly been made by the blessing. There's 3 amazing services, 6:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m., and 10:30 a.m. Make it a date with us. Stream live Share the links to your friends and family. And don't forget also to drop your testimonies, because we know you are going to have one fellowshipping with us on Sunday and on Thursday. God bless you as you do so with Jesus' precious name. I'll leave the floor now for God's servant to give us his concluding remarks and bless us for this new week.
We must, still on the reflections I have as I get to 50, we will have to start fighting for peace as a human. And we must start living for honor. See, the earth is becoming so rowdy and so disrespectful to people. So, there are things that we cannot say before our parents. Today we can say it before anybody. There are things that we grew up, there are attitudes we cannot display before people who are elderly. Today that I see people display. And I'm asking why. Why is there a very huge drop in honoring people? A very massive gap. While growing up, there was one time I was serving in a church in Port Harcourt, and somebody reported me in a situation, and they told me that my pastor was aware. So he called me into his office. I said, "I'm not aware, sir." He said he does not believe I'm not aware. I said, "I'm not." So when I left, I didn't go home that day. I stood outside. Everybody has gone. I waited him. He came out. I knelt down to tell him, "I'm not aware, sir." You know that today you cannot do that. You cannot see anybody display such honor for people anymore. Because reverence is actually dying, is affecting the true essence of the progression of a lot of things on the earth. And I want to let people, let's go back to reverence. Reverence is what made people that if you can keep cassava fruits in front of a house. There were no gates in our villages before. You go to the village, there were no gates. They were just compounds. Somebody can keep cassava, plantains in front of the house. And you can still get up, travel and lock your door, and the plantain is there. Nobody touches it. Today you can't keep anything anywhere. They will steal it. The problem is not the hunger to steal. It's the lack of reverence in the place. People don't reverence anything anymore. And that's why you can see premature death. You can see cracks in marriage. You can see cracks in life. Just imagine me staying here. And I'm with young folks of this nature. And they may not learn my lifestyle. You'll be shocked to know in the midst of 10, only one young man or young lady is emulating my lifestyle. Because it is that reverence that gives you access to learn. You say, "But why I did not learn? I did not, no. Teaching don't teach people. It's belief that teaches us. When you believe in a thing, it starts working on your life. So let us bring back reverence, that we can open our doors and go to sleep, and nothing is missing. We can stay in our homes and don't have evil thoughts about people. We can do the decency of life without having expectations of evil coming around us. It is reverence that gave us that access. And that same reverence, if it is brought back, will make so much progress in this time where everything is very sophisticated. And I tell you, if you learn how to behave and learn how to talk, you live the best life on the earth. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. What a way to end tonight, this morning's episode on the Gospel Manager. Thank you for streaming from wherever. As God's servant has said, we must bring reverence back to the picture and be peace conscious. And that's a very candid advice to get from God's servants. That's why we say here, life is beautiful, and you, my friend, you can handle it. We'll see you on Friday when Gospel Manager returns. Have a blessed week.
Honor World Trade and Market Forum Summit. Are you a business owner, entrepreneur, creator, or trader? This is your opportunity to showcase your brand, expand your network, and connect with new customers. Register your business today and be part of the Trade Fair exhibition at the Honor World Trade and Market Forum Summit, a platform designed to promote enterprise, encourage innovation, and empower businesses to grow. Saturday, March 14th, 2026. 9 a.m. Come and display your products, promote your services, and connect with a thriving community of entrepreneurs and investors. Join the already registered businesses and get registered to be a part of the trade fair. Register your business and secure your spot today. Your next level in business could begin here.
There comes a moment in destiny when preparation meets prophecy, when obscurity bows to divine selection, and heaven publicly endorses a man. For years, Samuel mourned what failed, but God declared, "How long will you mourn?" Because somewhere unseen, an anointed future was waiting, rejected by men, ignored by systems, uninvited to the table, yet approved by God. When God endorses a man, oil silences opposition, grace outruns experience, favor overrides protocol, and destiny answers to calling. Rehoboth 26 is not just a gathering, it is a prophetic alignment, a moment where heaven announces, "Arise, for this is he," from the field to the throne, from anonymity to authority, from rejection to recognition. This is your season of divine approval. This is your moment of supernatural backing. This is your endorsement. Rehoboth 26, the endorsement 1 Samuel 16, verses 1 to 13. Venue, Rehoboth City, Honor World International. Date, Sunday, 6th to Sunday, 13 September 2026. Time, 7 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. daily. Come ready. Come expectant. Come prepared for the oil. Because when God endorses you, no man can disqualify you. Rehoboth 26. The endorsement. Your season has been announced.